Alright guys, and welcome back to my channel, Gus's Plans. Today we're going to be diving into Book of the Month picks for April 2024. And let's see what books we have in store for this month. By the way, hello and happy new April. April is Fools, and just April came back so fast this year. But anyway, so let's go ahead, without wasting too much time, let's just go ahead and jump into the books of the month for April. Here I have April books. We have 7 books this month. We're having 7 books in Book of the Month. Anyways, so the first one here we have is How to End a Love Story. It says, 2 writers with plenty of shared history and up-staffed on a TV show. Can they write themselves a new ending? Let's look into it. So it says, it's a movie-ish, salacious writer's life, enemies to lovers. So pretty much you follow the story of 2 main characters. Helen, which is a writer that her book got made into a TV show, or it's being made into a TV show or a movie. So she moves to Los Angeles to work on that project. Lo and behold, she happens to have a co-worker that happens to be Grant, and the Grant is not just an ordinary guy. He happened to be the responsible person that killed her Helen's sister 13 years ago. It was an accident, but Helen still holds a grudge against them, of course, like I would too. And so they work together, and so the book kind of talks about how they cope with that and how they work with each other, enemies to lovers, and I believe they're gonna end up falling in love. It sounds very interesting, but it's something that I don't want to read. I don't want to be reading a book about those type of things. Moving on to the next one, we have All We Were Promised. This is pre-Civil War Philadelphia brings together 3 black women fighting for abolition in this emotionally riveting drama. I've never been a fan of books about war because they're very sad. They kind of make me cry. And anyways, so it's let me see. It's multiple viewpoints, social issues, family drama, and female friendships. So I believe this one you follow a story of 3 main characters. It's set up in the 1800s, pre-Civil War. You follow the story of Nell, Charlotte, and Evie. So you follow the story of 3 women, Nell, Charlotte, and Evie. Nell is a very wealthy African American that helps to end slavery. And then you have Charlotte. Charlotte has a white passing African American father, and she has a secret. Her father is a black man but looks like a white person, I guess, and so he kind of plays the role and has his daughter be his slave. And then that's the secret that they have in between each other. And then Evie happens to be a slave, and they try to help her out, and Charlotte and Neil kind of find that out, and they want to help her not be a slave. I guess I'm not making a good judgment here on this book, but that's kind of what it is about. A lot of slavery. And I mean, if that's something that you like reading, go ahead. I think it's not for me. The next one we have here, it's The Wives. This is a memoir. It's a debut novel. It's movingly exploring friendship, love, and community. This memoir peers into the unique, tight-knit world of army wives. Again, army, drama, sad, war. Not into those type of books. I'm just gonna read here the Good to Know. It has emotional, 400 plus pages, marriage, issues, and war. So I'm not even gonna dive into the synopsis. It's more than 400 pages. I'm not gonna do that. It's war, it's emotional, it's marriage issues, but I know that there's a lot of people that are into those type of books, like I mentioned earlier. And if that's something that you like reading, then go ahead and pick it up. I know that Kristen Hanna came out with The Women 2 months ago, and that book did really good. It's set on the Vietnam Cold War, so I mean, I know there's an audience for this type of melancholic, sad books. So there you have another one, The Wives. The next one we have here is Sally Hepworth's Darling Girls. It's a thriller. This is when a body turns up under their former foster home. 3 sisters must confront their past to keep their names clear. Oh, okay, a thriller. It's always a thriller in Book of the Month, and I love reading thrillers. So let's see. It's a psychological, multi-viewpoints, LGBTQ plus themes, and non-linear timeline. Sounds very interesting. So what I got from this book here, it's set up of 3 foster kids that are adopted by a lady called Mrs. Foster Child or Fairchild, and she does not treat them well. She's a very horrible foster care parent, does not treat them well, and they run away from her. But in the midst of trying to run away, there's a dead body that's found under the little house, and they become the first prime suspects of the murderer. So it's kind of like a mystery thriller of who murdered who, and was it the lady? Was it the kids? Did the lady die? You know, you don't really know what's going to happen, and that's kind of the brief synopsis of the book, and it sounds very interesting. However, I just finished reading two thrillers like 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure I'm ready to read another thriller. It sounds super interesting. I may add this to my box, but yeah, it's very fast. So alright, moving right along to Dragon Fruit. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I love the cover here. It says, hop aboard, we're embarking on a proper adventure with dragons, pirates, island myths, and epic second chances. Wow, dragons and fruit. It says it's a action-packed, magical underdog nature book. It doesn't have that it's 400 plus pages. I'm guessing it's gonna be under 300 or barely 400 pages. Let's see. It's a historical fiction from the Pacific Islands. That's very entertaining. I believe the author is from Guam. And I believe this book talks about Hannah Lee. Hannah Lee is the main character, and her father happens to steal a sea dragon's egg from the queen, and that kind of exiles the family as a whole out of the island or out of their country, and so they move somewhere else up until they find out that there's someone back home that stole a sea dragon, and so Helen goes back to her country to kind of rescue and amend her family's, I guess, horrible mistake of stealing the egg. And it's kind of like an adventure packed with fights and dragons and queens and kings, and it sounds super entertaining. It's a young adult fantasy, and I definitely will make this book my book of the month without a doubt. I love reading, you know, very salacious books. I love reading this type of books, and I definitely love the cover, and I will make this my book of the month. I'm pretty sure that this book is going to be made into a lot of different deluxe editions with sprayed edges and stenciled, you know, whatnot. So I don't care. I'm gonna read this book. And yeah, I have two books left though. We have Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. This is Abby Jimenez, I guess, a third time book coming up over here. It's a romance book. And Abby Jimenez was the winner for the Lolly Book last 2023. So, this one here is Abby Jimenez returns with a rom-com possessing all fun of a summer fling and the emotional richness of true love. This is 400 plus pages, family drama, multiple viewpoints, and now this book sounds super entertaining. I believe there is a cursed guy, a guy that has, it's such bad luck that every time he breaks up from a date, that other person ends up finding the love of their life. And so it's a thing that happens all the time. Every time he goes on a date, the person that he breaks up with finds the love of his life, until he goes on a date with the girl that had the same issue as him. So they both have the same issue. They date each other, and they make a plan. They're like, okay, well, we're gonna date each other, and then we're gonna break off on purpose to see if we can find ourselves on the love of their life. But they don't ever break up. Something happens with their family, and so now they're stuck as boyfriend and girlfriend. And it's kind of like a newfound love story where you kind of read how they end up getting married, I guess. And I think that's what the book is about. It's something that sounds interesting. It's just not for me. I probably see this in a TV show, but yeah. And the last one here is The Husband. This is a literary fiction. It says, not satisfied with your current husband, just direct him back to the attic and we'll send down a new replacement as soon as possible. Wow, this is a literary fiction. It's a debut author. It's a light read, LGBTQ plus themes, salacious and quirky. So brief synopsis here. Let me see. When Lauren returns home to her flat in London late at night, she's greeted by the door by her husband, Michael. There's only one problem. She's not married. She's never seen this man before in her life, but according to her friends, her much improved decor, and the photos on her phone. They've been together for years. Okay, so pretty much she gets a new husband every time that guy goes up to the attic, and when they come back it's a different person. I believe she might have some kind of disorder, and the book will kind of deal with that disorder, but they're kind of making it into like a comedy joke about it. I'm not sure if I'm into that. I haven't read the book. I'm just judging it by the synopsis and by what the comments are saying, but that's that. Very good selection here of books, I must say, I must admit, and I really like that. Once again, I will be making the Dragon Fruit my book of the month. I will not be adding anything else to go with it because I have a lot of books on my TBR. So yes guys, I will be making Dragon Fruit the book of the month. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you guys are new here, also let me know. And what was your book of the month for April? If you're new to the book of the month, I will leave a link on the description box, where I believe you can get your first book for $9. But anyways, till I guys see you guys next time. Kapag arigato, gozaimashita.